On October 23, 2025, my daughter was left to die in the woods with a broken arm and 2 fractured ribs. The woman who did this said 3 months earlier, "Your dirty blood has no place in our family." She was talking about my Black heritage, about my grandbaby growing in my daughter's womb. I'm Hattie Williams. I'm 62 years old, and I want to tell you my story. If you're listening from somewhere far away, drop your city in the comments so I can see how far this has traveled. And please, stay with me until the end. I didn't cry when I found my daughter bleeding in those woods. I didn't scream. I said, okay, and then I went to war. The cold came early that October. By the 3rd week, dampness had crept into everything. Under my jacket, into my bones, settling in my old Chevy that rattled on the broken dirt roads leading home. I'd lived in Pine County my whole life, 62 years. I knew every pothole on County Road 47, every turn where asphalt gave way to clay. This was my home, even when people whispered mixed blood behind my back. My grandmother Zora Jackson was a proud Black woman who married my white grandfather in 1943. The price she paid was steep, but she held her head high every day. She taught me to do the same. I'd worked as a nurse at Pine County General for 33 years before retiring. Delivered babies, held dying hands, saved lives. My husband Robert passed 3 years ago, heart attack at 64. The house still felt too big without him. That Thursday evening, I was coming home from the farmer's market when my phone rang at 6:47 p.m. Unknown number. "Is this Hattie Williams?" A man's voice, rough, breathing hard. "Yes. Who's this?" "Ma'am, Sam Rodriguez. I'm a hunter. I found your daughter in the woods behind the old quarry. She's hurt bad. Real bad." The world tilted. I pulled over hard. "Where exactly?" 7 miles north of town, past the logging road. I called 911, but they said 30 minutes. "You should come now." I turned the car around and drove. My daughter Diana, 34 years old, my only child. 8 years ago, she'd married Brandon Blackwood, heir to Blackwood Development Corporation. Moved to a mansion I'd only seen twice. Called maybe once a month, always saying "Everything's fine, Mama," in that flat voice that said it wasn't. The logging road was worse than I remembered. I didn't slow down. I saw the pickup truck, beat up Ford, doors open. A man in camouflage stood beside it, about 50, Hispanic, worried. "Where is she?" He pointed into the trees. "100 yards. I left my jacket and tea. Didn't want to move her." I ran. The forest floor was soft from rain. Branches whipped my face. Then I saw something light-colored between the dark trunks. Diana. At first I didn't recognize her. Hair matted with blood and dirt. Face swollen, a massive bruise under her left eye. Right eye swollen shut. Her cream designer coat torn and filthy. She was curled on her side like when she was little and had a fever. "Diana." I dropped to my knees. "Baby, I'm here." Her left eye opened. "Mama." "The ambulance is coming. Just hold on." "No." She tried to sit up, gasped. Her right arm bent wrong, definitely broken. "No hospital. They have people there. They'll finish what she started." "Who did this?" She swallowed. I helped her sip from the thermos the hunter left. "Christine," she whispered. "Christine Blackwood. My mother-in-law." Cold spread through my chest. Christine Blackwood, 58, director of Hope Charitable Foundation, magazine spreads about philanthropy. A woman who'd looked at me exactly 3 times in 8 years, eyes sliding past like I was furniture. "I found documents, Mama. She's stealing from the charity. Millions. I asked her about it." Diana's voice cracked. "She said we'd look at land outside town. She'd explain. But when we got here, she beat me with a tire iron. Kept saying I had dirty blood. That I'd destroy the family. That my—" Her hand moved to her stomach. "Mama, I'm pregnant. 14 weeks. She knew, and still, I heard the siren. I had 3 minutes to decide everything. Training said, wait for the ambulance, hospital, police report, by the book. My gut said different. Diana's battered face. The Blackwood family, $47 million empire, connections to the governor, judges, police commissioner. They have people everywhere. My grandbaby, 14 weeks, while Christine tried to beat them to death. "Did the hunter see who brought you?" I asked. "No, she left before he came." Thought I'd die from cold. I made my decision. I ran back. Sam Rodriguez was smoking, hands shaking. Mr. Rodriguez? Did you see anyone else? No, ma'am. Was tracking deer east. Heard moaning. Found her 20 minutes ago. The siren got louder. My daughter's in serious danger. The person who did this has connections everywhere, including the hospital. I'm a nurse, 33 years experience. I can treat her at home, but I need you to tell the ambulance it was false alarm. He stared. She needs real medical attention. Her mother-in-law did this. Christine Blackwood. You know that name? His eyes widened. Everyone knew the Blackwoods. She beat my pregnant daughter because Diana found evidence of financial crimes. If she goes to that hospital, she won't leave alive. Please. Long moment. Then he nodded. You really a nurse? 33 years. Okay, but if she gets worse, you'll be first I call. The ambulance pulled up. Sam met them. I slipped back into the woods. Getting Diana to my car took 10 painful minutes. By the time we reached my Chevy, Sam was telling the paramedics, "Sorry, thought I saw something. Turned out to be a deer. My mistake." I drove away without headlights until we were clear. "Mama," Diana whispered. "They won't stop. I know too much." "I know, baby. I have proof. On my phone. I photographed the documents." My heart jumped. "Where's your phone?" "My purse. She didn't take it. Probably thought it'd look like robbery." We drove in silence. Diana's breathing shallow but steady. "I'm scared." "I know. Not for me. For the baby." I pulled over, looked at her one good eye. "Listen, you're the daughter of Hattie Williams and great-granddaughter of Zora Jackson. That blood in your veins is not dirty. It's strong. It's proud. It survived things that would break others. Understand?" She nodded, tears streaming. "We're getting you somewhere safe. Getting medical care. Protecting that baby. Then making sure Christine Blackwood faces justice. You with me?" "Yes, Mama." I remembered Reverend James Mitchell, my father's best friend, Vietnam chaplain turned pastor. His church had a shelter for domestic violence victims. Confidential location. I used a payphone. "James, it's Hattie. I need help. Can Diana and I come to the church now?" "Of course. I'll be waiting." We arrived at Greater Hope Baptist at 8:32 p.m. Reverend Mitchell, 68, took one look at Diana and his face went hard. "Who did this?" "Her mother-in-law. She's pregnant. 14 weeks. His jaw tightened. "Bring her inside." The shelter was small, clean, safe. Reverend Mitchell led us to a back room. I examined Diana with my nurse's eye. 2 ribs fractured, arm broken, radius. Head wound needs cleaning. Need to check the baby. "I'm calling Dr. Sarah Chen," James said. "She's discreet." Dr. Sarah Chen arrived at midnight. 45, graying hair, sharp eyes. She examined Diana thoroughly, using a portable ultrasound. "Baby has a heartbeat. Strong. Placenta intact." She looked at Diana. "You got very lucky." Diana cried. Relief, fear, pain spilling out. Sarah gave her safe pain medication. "Complete rest, 1 week minimum. The arm needs a cast. I'll come back tomorrow." Outside, Sarah crossed her arms. This wasn't random. Blows were calculated. Painful, but not immediately fatal. "I know. What's really going on?" I told her everything. Documents, millions stolen, Christine's rage about dirty blood, attempted murder. Sarah listened. "The Blackwoods have a lot of influence." "I know. Local police will bury it." "I know that too. So what will you do?" I looked at the door. "Gather evidence. Real, solid, undeniable evidence. Then make sure Christine Blackwood pays. Legally, but she will pay." Sarah nodded. "I'll keep confidential medical records. Everything. It might help later." After she left, Reverend Mitchell made tea. Diana slept, exhausted. "What's next?" he asked. "Look at those documents Diana mentioned." "I know someone who can help. Raymond Cole, detective, 20 years in fraud. Retired early, now private investigator. He tried investigating the Blackwoods once, got shut down. It ate at him." "Would he help?" "Yes, especially knowing what they did to a pregnant woman. Contact him. Quietly." I unlocked Diana's phone, passcode 1989, the year she was born. Found the folder Documents for Brandon. 43 photos. Bank statements. $1.5 million, $2.8 million, $4.2 million, to companies called Sterling Consulting LLC, Hope Analytics Inc., 7 years of payments, contracts for services never provided, shell companies at addresses that didn't exist. One email from Christine to Paul Winters. Subject line Cayman account transfer, $180,000. Diana had found systematic fraud, millions stolen from a charity for sick children, and Christine had tried to kill her for it. I sat looking at my daughter's broken body, feeling the weight of what we faced. They had money, power, connections, but I had truth, and 33 years of nursing that taught me patience and thoroughness. I also had the blood of Zora Jackson, the woman who survived a hostile world with nothing but dignity and strength. Christine called it dirty blood. I was about to show her how powerful it could be. Friday morning, I left Diana sleeping and drove to the public library. Couldn't risk my home computer. They might be monitoring. I searched the Hope Charitable Foundation. Beautiful website, smiling children. Christine's photo. Founder and executive director. 7 years operating. $180 million raised. Annual reports listed program services $45 million. Administrative costs $12 million. Strategic consulting $38 million. $38 million in consulting. Over 20% of their budget. I researched the consulting companies from Diana's photos. Sterling Consulting, LLC, registered Delaware 2019. Dissolved 2023. Hope Analytics Inc., registered Delaware 2020. Active but no website, no phone, no office. Pattern clear. Shell companies to receive money then dissolved. I found a blog post from 2023 by journalist Alex Turner. Questions surround Hope Foundation's financial practices. He detailed the shell companies, vague accounting, lack of transparency. Then 3 months later, local journalist injured in hit and run. Alex Turner struck by a car. Paralyzed. Driver never found. My hands shook. This wasn't just fraud. This was silencing witnesses. I messaged through his blog. My daughter found Hope Foundation fraud evidence and was nearly killed. I believe your accident wasn't random. Please contact me. I kept digging. Christine owned 3 properties in her name alone. Miami condo, $875,000. Outer Banks Beach House, $1.2 million. Charleston Townhouse, $950,000. All purchased in 5 years. Her official salary, $185,000 annually. I found social media photos. Christine at galas with a handsome man in his 30s. Caption, with Director of Special Events Paul Winters at Annual Hope Gala. Paul Winters, the Cayman account email. LinkedIn showed Director of Special Events, Blackwood Luxury Hotels. Theodore Blackwood's company, not the foundation. More photos, Christine and Paul standing too close, intimate smiles, pattern forming. Christine stealing from foundation. Funneling money through shells. Secret properties, relationship with Paul Winters, money in Cayman accounts. This wasn't just fraud. Christine was building an escape plan. Secret life away from her husband. Diana stumbled into all of it. The library phone rang. Ms. Williams, call for you. This is Alex Turner. Tell me what happened. I did. Everything. Long silence. I still have all my research. Everything I couldn't publish. Bank records, witness statements, photographs. Police made me stop but couldn't make me delete files. Would you share them? One condition. When you bring Christine down, and I believe you will, I get to write the story, the real story. You have my word. Check your email. Sending everything. That evening, Diana ate soup, first food she'd kept down. Mama, I need to tell you something. About the first time I was pregnant. I went still. First time? 3 years ago. 18 weeks. A boy. We were so happy. She stared at her bowl. Then I miscarried. Doctors said spontaneous, unexplained. Just happens sometimes. Diana, but I've been thinking, remembering. She looked up. Christine made me special tea, every day. Said it was for my health, for the baby. Herbal tea with honey. My stomach dropped. After I miscarried, she stopped making tea. Said no point anymore. Diana's voice cracked. Mama, what if it wasn't a miscarriage? I pulled up Alex Turner's files. Buried in credit card receipts. Purchase from April 2022. Natural health store. Receipt showed Pennyroyal essential oil, $23.50. Cotton root bark powder, $31. Blue cohosh tincture, $28.75. I felt sick. All herbal abortifacients. "Oh my God," Diana whispered. "She poisoned me. She killed my baby. And when you got pregnant again and didn't live with her anymore, she couldn't poison you. So she finished the job another way." Silence. Weight crushing us. Christine hadn't just tried to kill Diana once. She'd been trying 3 years to prevent Diana from having a child who would make Brandon independent, dilute the Blackwood line with my dirty blood. This wasn't just money. This was power, control, hatred so deep it led to one child's murder and attempted murder of 2 more. I took Diana's hands. Christine made one critical mistake. What? She underestimated us. Thought you were weak. Thought I was just some old nurse, too powerless to fight. I squeezed her hands. She has no idea what she started. No idea what women in this family do when you threaten our children. Diana's eyes hardened. What do we do? Document everything. Gather allies. Build a case so airtight that even Blackwood money can't make it disappear. Then make sure Christine spends her life paying for what she did. How long? I thought about the evidence. Documents, files, medical records. 4 weeks. Give me 4 weeks and I'll give you justice. Okay, Mama. 4 weeks. I hugged her carefully. Outside, October rain drummed against windows. Somewhere, Christine thought she'd gotten away with murder. Thought Diana was dead in those woods. She had no idea Diana was alive, healing, gathering evidence. And she had absolutely no idea that Hattie Williams, the quiet retired nurse she'd dismissed, was about to become her worst nightmare. The war had begun, and I intended to win. Week 1, Friday, October 24th to Thursday, October 30th. Raymond Cole came to the shelter on Saturday morning, October 25th. He was 52 years old, broad-shouldered, with gray hair and tired eyes that had seen too much. Reverend Mitchell made introductions. "Ray, this is Hattie Williams and her daughter Diana." Detective Cole looked at Diana's battered face, the bruises now turning yellow-green, the cast on her arm, and his jaw tightened. "Tell me everything." I did. All of it. The documents, the shell companies, the $180 million fraud, Christine's attack, the poisoning 3 years ago. When I finished, Cole was quiet for a long moment. "I tried to investigate the Blackwoods 10 years ago," he said finally. "Suspected financial irregularities in their development deals. Got shut down within a week. Captain said I was harassing prominent citizens. Threatened to demote me if I didn't drop it." He looked at Diana. "That's why I left the force. Couldn't stomach protecting rich criminals." "Will you help us?" I asked. "Ma'am, I've been waiting 10 years for a chance to nail these people. You just gave me that chance." He pulled out a notebook. "Now let's build a case the FBI can't ignore." Over the next 3 days, Detective Cole worked like a man possessed. He verified every document in Diana's photos. He traced the shell companies through business registries in Delaware, Nevada, and Wyoming. He mapped the money flow from Hope Foundation to offshore accounts. On Tuesday, October 28th, he came back with a manila folder 3 inches thick. "Here's what we've got," he said, spreading documents across the shelter's kitchen table. 7 shell companies created between 2018 and 2024. Total funds transferred, $47.3 million. That's million with an M. Diana leaned forward, careful of her ribs. "Where did the money go?" "Follow me." Cole traced a diagram he'd drawn. Hope Foundation writes checks to Sterling Consulting LLC for strategic planning services. Sterling Consulting immediately transfers 90% to a Cayman Islands account held by something called Bright Horizon Trust. That trust is controlled by... He paused for effect. "Christine Blackwood and Paul Winters, jointly." "Who's Paul Winters?" Diana asked. "Director of Special Events at Blackwood Luxury Hotels," I said. "Works for Theodore Blackwood. Also appears to be Christine's lover based on social media." Diana's good eye widened. "She's cheating on Theodore?" "With a man 15 years younger," Cole confirmed. "And they've been planning their exit strategy for at least 3 years. I found emails, Christine to Paul, talking about early retirement in the French Riviera. Even looked at properties in Nice, $2.8 million villa overlooking the Mediterranean. I felt the pieces clicking together. So Christine isn't just stealing from the charity. She's stealing from her husband, preparing to leave him and run off with her lover. Exactly. Cole flipped to another page. But here's the really interesting part. Theodore Blackwood doesn't know any of this. His company accountants have no idea Hope Foundation money is being laundered through their hotel employee. Christine kept it completely separate. What about Brandon? Diana asked quietly. Does he know what his mother did to me? Cole shook his head. I've been watching him. He thinks you left him. Christine told him you went to stay with your mother, that you needed time to think about the marriage. He's been calling your phone 37 times in the past 4 days, leaving voicemails begging you to come home. Diana looked away, tears in her good eye. He doesn't know, I said softly. Christine lied to him. Which brings us to our next move, Cole said. We can't go to local police. The Blackwoods have too much influence. We need to go federal, FBI, financial fraud, wire fraud, money laundering across state lines. That's their jurisdiction. How long will that take? I asked. To build an airtight case? 2 more weeks minimum. We need bank records, witness statements, expert testimony, and we need one more thing. He looked at me. We need Theodore Blackwood. Why? Because if the patriarch of the family cooperates with the investigation, it shows this isn't a family dispute, it's a criminal matter. Plus, Theodore can give us access to financial records we can't get otherwise. You want me to approach Theodore Blackwood? I said slowly. The man whose wife tried to kill my daughter? Yes, ma'am, because I think Theodore might surprise you. I've been investigating him for 10 years. He's ruthless in business, but he's honest. Pays his taxes, keeps clean books, treats his employees fairly. His reputation matters to him more than anything. Cole leaned forward. If we can prove to him that Christine is destroying that reputation, stealing from a charity, planning to abandon him, I think he'll help us. I looked at Diana. She nodded. Do it, Mama. We need him. Okay, I said. But I do this my way. No lawyers, no intermediaries. Just me and Theodore, face to face. Cole smiled grimly. You're braver than I thought, Ms. Williams. Not brave, I corrected. Just a mother protecting her child. Wednesday, October 29th. I called Theodore Blackwood's office at 9 a.m. from a payphone 2 towns over. Blackwood Development, how may I direct your call? I need to speak with Theodore Blackwood. It's urgent. Mr. Blackwood doesn't take unsolicited calls. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, tell him Hattie Williams needs to speak with him about his wife Christine, the Hope Foundation, and $47.3 million in stolen funds. Tell him I'll be at his office at 2 p.m. today. He can see me or read about it in the newspapers tomorrow. I hung up. At 1:45 p.m., Detective Cole drove me to Blackwood Tower, a gleaming glass building in the city's financial district, 30 stories of steel and wealth. I wore my best dress, the navy blue one I'd worn to Robert's funeral, appropriate for the occasion. The receptionist looked nervous when I gave my name. Mr. Blackwood is expecting you, 31st floor. The elevator ride felt endless. Theodore Blackwood's office was corner suite, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the river. The man himself stood behind a massive mahogany desk, tall, 67 years old, silver hair, sharp gray eyes, expensive suit that probably cost more than my car. Mrs. Williams. His voice was cold. You have 10 minutes to explain why I shouldn't have security remove you. I placed a manila envelope on his desk. Because your wife tried to murder my daughter 12 days ago, and I can prove it. Something flickered in his eyes. That's a serious accusation. Yes, it is. I opened the envelope. Diana Elizabeth Williams, age 34, married to your son Brandon for 8 years. These are photos taken by Dr. Sarah Chen on October 24th. I spread them across his desk. Diana's battered face, the bruises, the broken arm, the medical report documenting 2 fractured ribs, concussion, multiple contusions. Theodore's face remained impassive, but his hands clenched. Diana was 14 weeks pregnant when this happened, I continued. Still is, your first grandchild. Christine knew she was pregnant, and she still beat her with a tire iron and left her to die in the woods outside town. Why would Christine do such a thing? Because Diana discovered these. I laid out the second set of documents: bank statements, shell company registrations, money transfers. Your wife has been systematically stealing from the Hope Charitable Foundation for 7 years. $47.3 million funneled through fake consulting companies to offshore accounts. Diana found the evidence and confronted Christine about it. Theodore picked up one of the bank statements, studied it. His face betrayed nothing. "This could be fabricated," he said. "It could be. That's why I brought this." I placed a flash drive on the desk. "Everything's on here. Bank records, emails, property deeds. You have 48 hours to verify it all. Hire your own investigators, your own forensic accountants. Check every document. And when you confirm it's all true, you'll understand why Christine tried to kill Diana." "And if I don't believe you?" "Then I go to the FBI tomorrow morning, and I go to every newspaper in the state, and I tell them how Theodore Blackwood's wife stole millions from sick children while he did nothing." For the first time, emotion crossed his face. Anger. "You're threatening me." "No, Mr. Blackwood, I'm offering you a choice. Help us bring Christine to justice the right way, or watch your reputation burn when the truth comes out anyway." I met his eyes. "You built Blackwood Development from nothing. 40 years of honest work. Christine is destroying that legacy. The only question is whether you'll let her." Long silence. 48 hours, he said finally. "Don't contact anyone else until then." I nodded and left. In the car, Detective Cole looked at me with new respect. "That took guts." "That took desperation," I corrected. Now we wait. Thursday, October 30th. We didn't have to wait long. That night my house was broken into. I wasn't there. I'd been staying at the shelter with Diana. But Reverend Mitchell called at 11 p.m. "Hattie, you need to come. Your neighbor just called. Someone's in your house." I drove there with Cole. Squad cars were already parked outside, lights flashing. My front door hung open, splintered at the lock. Inside was chaos. Every drawer emptied, furniture overturned, papers scattered everywhere. They'd torn the place apart looking for something. For Diana. Officer Martinez took my statement. "Looks like they were searching for something specific. Any idea what?" "No," I lied. "Maybe just thieves." After the police left, Cole and I walked through the house. "Professional job," he murmured. "They knew what they were doing." "Christine knows Diana isn't dead," I said. "She's looking for her." My phone rang. "Unknown number," I answered. "Stop." A man's voice, electronically distorted. "Stop now, or Diana dies for real this time." Click. My hands shook. Cole took the phone, listened to the recording. "We need to move Diana. Tonight. Somewhere even safer." "Where?" "I know a place. Remote cabin, 40 miles north. Used to be a witness safe house when I was on the force. Off all records now." "Do it." We moved Diana at 2 a.m., wrapped in blankets, still in pain but determined. The cabin was small, isolated, surrounded by forest. Perfect. As I settled my daughter into bed, she grabbed my hand. "Mama, I'm scared." "I know, baby. But I'm not running, not anymore. Whatever happens, we see this through." I squeezed her hand. "That's my girl. Friday, October 31st, Halloween. Theodore called at 6 p.m. "We need to talk, tonight, my office. Come alone." I went. This time, Theodore looked different, tired, 10 years older than 2 days ago. "I verified everything," he said without preamble. "Every document, every transfer, every shell company. It's all real." I waited. "I also hired private investigators. They found more." He opened a folder. "Christine has secret accounts totaling $4.2 million. Properties I didn't know about. Miami condo purchased 2020 for $875,000. Charleston townhouse, 2022, $950,000. Outer Banks beach house, 2023, $1.2 million. All in her name only." "She was planning to leave you," I said quietly. "Yes." He pulled out printed emails. "These are from Christine to Paul Winters, director of special events at my hotel company. They've been having an affair for 3 years. This email from August discusses buying a villa in Nice, France. $2.8 million. They plan to leave in January 2026, 2 months from now." His voice was flat, emotionless, but his hands trembled slightly. "I'm sorry," I said, and meant it. "Don't be. I stopped loving Christine years ago, but I never thought—" He looked up. "I never thought she'd try to kill someone. A pregnant woman. My daughter-in-law. My grandchild." "What will you do?" "What you asked. I'll cooperate fully with the FBI, provide all financial records, testify if needed. But I have one condition." "What?" "I handle Christine myself. My way." I stiffened. "Mr. Blackwood, I'm not looking for vigilante justice. Neither am I." He stood, walked to the window. "I mean, I want to be the one to confront her, to tell her I know everything, to give her the choice. Turn yourself in, or I turn you in." "You think she'll turn herself in?" "No, but I want her to know her own husband is the one who destroyed her." He turned back. "Is that acceptable?" I thought about it. "As long as she faces legal consequences. Prison time. Not some quiet divorce settlement where she walks away rich." "Agreed." He extended his hand. "We have a deal, Mrs. Williams." I shook it. His grip was firm. "One more thing," Theodore said. "Brandon, my son, does he know what his mother did?" "No." Christine told him Diana left to think about their marriage. Pain crossed Theodore's face. "He needs to know the truth. All of it. Including—" He paused. "Including that I failed to protect Diana from his mother." "When will you tell him?" "Tomorrow, after we set the trap for Christine." "What trap?" Theodore smiled grimly. "You'll see." Saturday, November 1st. Detective Cole, Theodore, and I met at 8 a.m. in an FBI field office 30 miles away. Special Agent Lisa Morrison listened to everything, examined every document, her expression growing darker. "This is prosecutable," she said finally. "Wire fraud, money laundering, embezzlement, tax evasion. Federal charges, 10 to 20 years minimum. But we need Christine to make a move. Right now, all we have is documentary evidence. No confession, no witnesses to the assault." "What if we could get her to confess?" Theodore asked. "How?" "Bait her. Make her think everything's falling apart. See what she does." Agent Morrison nodded slowly. "What did you have in mind?" Theodore outlined his plan. It was risky. It was brilliant. At 10 a.m., Theodore's secretary, loyal to him for 32 years, sent an email to Christine from Patricia Hayes' email address. Patricia was the Blackwood family's housekeeper, had worked for them 15 years. The email read, "Mrs. Blackwood, we need to talk urgently. The police called asking questions about Mrs. Diana. They said they found a body in the woods. I didn't tell them anything, but I'm scared. Please call me." Patricia Cole monitored Christine's phone. Within 90 seconds, she called Patricia's number, got voicemail, called again, and again. At 10:47 a.m., Christine's car was spotted leaving the Blackwood mansion, driving erratically toward downtown. "She's panicking," Cole said. "Good." At 11:15 a.m., Christine arrived at her lawyer's office, Martin Greenberg, high-powered criminal defense attorney. "She's preparing to run," Agent Morrison said. "We need to move now." Meanwhile, across town, Theodore met Brandon at a coffee shop. I watched from a corner table. Theodore insisted I be there to answer questions. Brandon looked terrible, unshaven, exhausted, his eyes red. "Dad, what's this about? Did you find Diana?" Theodore slid a folder across the table. "Look at these." Brandon opened it. Saw the photos of Diana's battered face. The color drained from his face. "Oh my God. What? Who?" "Your mother." Brandon looked up, shock and disbelief warring on his face. "That's impossible. Mom wouldn't—" "Your mother beat Diana with a tire iron on October 23rd and left her to die in the woods. Diana was 14 weeks pregnant. Your mother knew this. She did it anyway." "No." Brandon shook his head. "No, there's some mistake." "There's no mistake." Theodore's voice was hard. "Look at the next page. Bank statements, shell companies, money transfers. Diana discovered your mother was embezzling from the Hope Foundation, $47.3 million over 7 years. Diana confronted her. Your mother decided to eliminate the problem." Brandon's hands shook. "Where's Diana now?" "Safe. No thanks to you." "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." "You should have." Theodore leaned forward. Your mother told you Diana left to think about your marriage. Did you question that? Did you wonder why your pregnant wife would suddenly leave without her clothes, her car, her medication? Did you do anything except call her phone and leave pathetic voicemails? Brandon put his head in his hands. Your mother also poisoned Diana 3 years ago, Theodore continued relentlessly. The miscarriage Diana had. That wasn't natural. Christine used herbal abortifacients to terminate the pregnancy. We have receipts. Brandon made a sound like a wounded animal. So now you choose, Theodore said. Your mother, who's a thief and attempted murderer, or your wife and unborn child. Choose right now. I want to see Diana, Brandon whispered. That's not up to me. Theodore looked at me. I walked over. Brandon's head snapped up. Mrs. Williams, please, I didn't know. You have to believe me. I believe you didn't know about the assault, I said carefully. But you knew something was wrong. You chose not to see it. Please, let me see her. Let me apologize. Not yet. Maybe not ever. That's Diana's choice, not mine. I sat down. But I'll tell you what you can do. When your mother is arrested, and she will be arrested, you can testify against her. You can tell the truth about everything you saw over the years. Can you do that? He nodded, tears streaming. Yes, anything. Theodore stood. Then we have work to do. Monday, November 3rd, 9 a.m. FBI agents executed search warrants simultaneously at 3 locations. Hope Foundation headquarters, Christine Blackwood's home office, and Paul Winters' apartment. Detective Cole, Theodore, and I watched from Agent Morrison's command vehicle parked outside Hope Foundation. At 9:17 a.m., Christine arrived. Designer suit, perfect hair, no idea what waited inside. She walked into her office to find Agent Morrison and 4 FBI agents going through her filing cabinets. What is the meaning of this? Christine's voice was imperious. I'm calling my lawyer. Already here. Martin Greenberg stepped forward. Christine, don't say anything. I don't need to say anything. This is harassment. Mrs. Blackwood, we have a warrant to seize all financial records related to Hope Charitable Foundation and associated entities. Agent Morrison held up a document. We also have forensic accountants accessing your computer files right now. Christine's face went pale. She lunged for her computer. You can't. An agent blocked her. Ma'am, step back. Everything's encrypted. We don't need to decrypt it. Agent Morrison smiled. Your IT director gave us the master password. Cooperating witness. Christine swayed. That's when we walked in. Theodore first, then me, then, carefully, slowly, Diana in a wheelchair, pushed by Dr. Sarah Chen. Christine saw Diana and the blood drained from her face completely. No, she whispered. No, that's impossible. You were dead. You should be dead. But I'm not. Diana's voice was steady. I survived, Christine. I survived, and I remember everything. This is a trick. Christine looked wildly at Theodore. Theo, they're setting me up. I can explain. I know about Paul, Theodore said quietly. I know about the money. I know about Nice. I know everything. Christine's legs gave out. She collapsed into her desk chair. Why? Diana wheeled herself closer. Why do you hate me so much? What did I ever do to you? You? Christine's voice rose hysterically. You brought your dirty blood into my family. Your black blood. I couldn't let you birth a mongrel child to carry the Blackwood name. Christine, shut up. Her lawyer grabbed her arm, but she was past hearing. Years of hate poured out. I worked too hard to build this family's reputation. I couldn't let some mixed-race baby destroy everything. The first pregnancy I took care of quietly. But you got pregnant again, and I had no choice. Mrs. Blackwood, stop talking, Greenberg was shouting now. I had to eliminate you. You should have died in those woods. It would have looked like a robbery. No one would have known. Christine! Theodore's voice cracked like a whip. She stopped, chest heaving, and seemed to realize what she'd said. Her face went from red to white to gray. Agent Morrison stepped forward, handcuffs ready. Christine Ann Blackwood, you're under arrest for attempted murder, wire fraud, money laundering, embezzlement, and conspiracy. You have the right to remain silent. The office erupted. Agents moved in. Greenberg was shouting about illegal entrapment. Christine was screaming. And Diana, my brave, strong daughter, sat in her wheelchair with tears streaming down her face. Not from sadness, from relief. It was over, or so we thought. Tuesday, November 4th. Agent Morrison called me at 7 a.m. We need to talk about Patricia Hayes. Patricia, the housekeeper who'd sent the fake email, who'd agreed to be a witness who I'd thought was on our side. I met Morrison at FBI headquarters. She led me to an interview room where Patricia sat, handcuffed, looking terrified. "Tell her," Morrison said. Patricia wouldn't meet my eyes. "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." "What did you do?" "Christine, she paid me $15,000 in 2022 to help with Diana's first pregnancy." Patricia's voice broke. "She gave me the herbs, told me to put them in Diana's tea, said it was just to make Diana sleep better. I didn't know they would. I didn't know about the miscarriage until after." I felt cold spreading through my body. "And the assault?" Morrison asked. "I didn't know beforehand, I swear, but after—" Christine called me that night, October 23rd, asked me to clean her car. There was blood in it. And Patricia sobbed. "I cleaned it. I destroyed the evidence, because I was scared she'd tell everyone I poisoned Diana. I'd go to prison." "So you helped cover up an attempted murder?" "I didn't mean, you only came forward because you were more scared of murder charges than poisoning charges," Morrison finished. "You only helped us to save yourself." Patricia nodded miserably. I looked at this woman I'd trusted, who I'd thought was an ally, who'd helped Christine poison my grandchild, who'd cleaned up evidence of attempted murder. "How much did she pay you this time?" I asked quietly. Patricia flinched. $25,000 to clean the car and take Diana's phone if I found it." "But you didn't find it." "No, Diana still had it." I stood up. "I hope the money was worth it." Patricia was charged as an accomplice, conspiracy to commit murder, obstruction of justice, accessory after the fact. Her bail was set at $500,000. She couldn't make it. 2 women in jail now, both thinking they were smarter than everyone else. Both wrong. At the cabin, I told Diana about Patricia. She cried, not from surprise, but from exhaustion. "I'm tired of people betraying me, Mama." "I know, baby. When does it end?" "Soon." I held her hand. Very soon. Christine's arraignment was scheduled for November 15th. The trial would be months away, but with her recorded confession, there wasn't much doubt about the outcome. Patricia would testify against Christine in exchange for a reduced sentence, 5 years instead of 15. Brandon filed for divorce on November 5th. Didn't contest anything. Signed over full custody of the baby, still unborn but already named in the paperwork. Theodore came to see Diana on November 7th. Brought a cashier's check for $2 million and a deed to a house in Pine Creek. "This isn't compensation," he said gruffly. "It's what family does." Diana cried. Theodore did too, a little. And me? I sat in that cabin and thought about everything we'd endured. The violence, the betrayal, the lies, but also the strength. The allies who appeared when we needed them. The truth that couldn't stay buried. We'd won, not the way I expected. Not without cost, but we'd won. November 15th, 2025. The courtroom was packed. News cameras lined the hallway outside. This case had become national news. "Charity director attempts murder over dirty blood" was the headline in every paper from here to New York. Christine wore an orange jumpsuit. No designer suit today. Her hair was greasy, pulled back. She looked 10 years older than 3 weeks ago. The judge read the charges. Attempted murder in the first degree, wire fraud, money laundering, embezzlement of $47.3 million, tax evasion, conspiracy. Christine's lawyer entered a plea of not guilty. The judge denied bail, flight risk, given the offshore accounts and plans to move to France. As they led her away, Christine's eyes found mine in the courtroom. Pure hatred burned there. I stared back, didn't blink, didn't look away. She broke first. Outside, reporters swarmed. "Mrs. Williams, how does it feel to see justice served?" "Mrs. Williams, is it true Christine called your heritage dirty blood?" "Mrs. Williams, will your daughter testify?" Detective Cole cleared a path, but I stopped, turned to face the cameras. My name is Hattie Williams. I'm 62 years old. My grandmother was Zora Jackson, a black woman who married a white man in 1943. People called their love wrong, called their children tainted, called me worse. I paused. Christine Blackwood tried to kill my daughter because she couldn't stand the thought of a mixed-race grandchild. But she failed. My daughter survived. My grandbaby is healthy. And today, justice begins. The questions exploded, but Cole pulled me away. That interview went viral. By evening, I'd been contacted by 3 national news programs. I chose 60 Minutes. Robert used to watch it every Sunday, November 18th. Brandon came to the cabin. Theodore had given him the location, against my wishes, but I understood why. Diana was 5 months pregnant now, her belly showing. She sat in the living room, Dr. Chen and I flanking her like guards. Brandon looked terrible. 40 pounds lighter, unshaven, hollow-eyed. Diana, his voice cracked. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She said nothing. I should have protected you. Should have seen what she was doing. Should have... He broke down, sobbing. I love you. I still love you. Please, give me another chance. Diana watched him cry, no expression on her face. Do you know what your mother did to me 3 years ago? She asked finally. Brandon looked up. Dad told me. The poisoning. Diana, I swear I didn't know. But you suspected something, didn't you? Silence. I'd come home from work, Diana continued, voice flat. Christine would have tea ready. For the baby, she'd say. And you'd watch me drink it. Every day for 6 weeks. Then I lost the baby at 18 weeks. Her voice hardened. Did you suspect something was wrong, Brandon? I thought maybe the tea was too strong, made you jittery. But Mom said it was fine, so you believed her instead of your own eyes. Diana, please, get out. What? Get out. Sign the divorce papers. Give up all parental rights. Leave us alone. Diana's hand moved to her belly. This baby deserves better than a father who'd let his mother poison them. I'll change. I'm in therapy. I don't care. Diana stood up, Dr. Chen helping her. You had 8 years to change, to stand up to her, to choose me. You never did. So now I'm choosing myself. And my child. Leave. Brandon looked at me, desperate. Mrs. Williams, please. You heard my daughter. He left. Divorce papers were filed the next day. Brandon contested nothing. Signed over everything. The settlement gave Diana $800,000 in full custody. Brandon waived all parental rights. His choice, his lawyer emphasized. Theodore called me that night. Thank you for seeing him. I know it was hard. He needed to hear it from Diana herself. He did. Long pause. Hattie, I failed too. I should have seen what Christine was. Should have protected Diana. I'm sorry. You're protecting her now. That's what matters. I want to be in this baby's life, if Diana allows it. A real grandfather, not like I was for Brandon. I think she'd like that. December 2025, the media storm continued. I did 3 more interviews, CNN, NPR, The Today Show. Each time I talked about Christine's hatred, about the violence, about the strength it took to survive. But I also talked about something else. Elder abuse is epidemic in this country, I told one interviewer. Financial, physical, emotional. People dismiss us, think we're weak, irrelevant, easy targets. Christine Blackwood thought that. She thought a 62-year-old retired nurse couldn't fight back. She was wrong. Letters poured in, hundreds of them. Women my age, older, younger, all with stories of being underestimated, dismissed, abused. One letter was from Alex Turner, the journalist. Mrs. Williams, you did what I couldn't. You brought her down. Thank you. My article will publish when the trial starts. The world needs to know the full story. Alex Christmas was quiet. Diana, Theodore, Dr. Chen, Reverend Mitchell, Detective Cole, and me. Small gathering. Safe. Theodore brought gifts. Too many, too expensive, but his way of showing love. Diana was 7 months pregnant, glowing, happy in a way I hadn't seen in years. Mama, she said that night, I want to name her Hope. Hope Zora Williams. I cried. Your great-grandmother would be so proud." "I know." Diana put my hand on her belly. Hope kicked strong. "She's got Zora's fighting spirit already." 4 months later, Christine's trial began on a cold Tuesday. The prosecution's case was overwhelming. Documents, emails, bank records, witness testimony from Hope Foundation employees who'd suspected fraud for years. And Diana. Diana took the stand on March 20th, a Thursday. She wore a simple blue dress. In her arms was 2-month-old Hope, born January 15th, 2026, 7 pounds 3 ounces, healthy and perfect. The prosecutor, Assistant U.S. Attorney Jennifer Walsh, asked Diana to recount October 23rd. Diana did. Every detail, her voice steady even when describing the tire iron, the beating, Christine's words. "Your dirty blood has no place in my family." "Mrs. Blackwood," Walsh asked, "when you confronted the defendant about the financial fraud, what did she say?" "She said I'd misunderstood, that it was legal tax optimization. She suggested we drive out of town, said she'd explain everything." Diana shifted Hope to her other arm. "Instead, she tried to kill me." Christine's lawyer, a shark named Richard Paulson, tried to tear Diana apart on cross-examination. "Isn't it true you wanted money from the Blackwood family?" "No." "Isn't it true you fabricated these documents to extort?" "No." "Isn't it true you're lying because you're bitter about your failed marriage?" Diana looked him dead in the eye. "I'm here because Christine Blackwood beat me while I was pregnant and left me to die. Because she poisoned me 3 years ago to kill my first baby. Because she stole $47.3 million from sick children. Those are facts, and no amount of victim blaming will change them." The courtroom erupted in applause. The judge gavelled for order, but even she looked approving. Christine's defense was simple. Mental breakdown, temporary insanity. Diana misunderstood everything. Then the prosecution's surprise witness appeared. Paul Winters, 36 years old, handsome, scared. He'd been granted immunity in exchange for testimony. "Tell the court about your relationship with Christine Blackwood," Walsh prompted. "We were lovers for 3 years. Paul wouldn't look at Christine. She said she'd leave Theodore. We planned to move to France, buy a villa. She showed me bank statements, millions of dollars, said it was her money, from investments." "Did she ever discuss Diana Blackwood?" "Yes." Paul swallowed. "In August 2025, she said Diana was a problem that needed solving. I thought she meant divorce or buying her off. But then in September, she started talking about making Diana disappear." "What did she mean?" "She said, if Diana died in an accident, no one would question it. She's unstable, depressed. These things happen." Paul's voice shook. "I thought she was joking, venting. Then, after October 23rd, when Diana went missing, Christine was calm. Too calm. She told me, 'The problem's solved.' I realized then what she'd done." "Why didn't you go to the police?" "Because I was terrified. I'd helped her move money. I was complicit in the fraud. I thought if I said anything, I'd go to prison too." He finally looked at the jury. "I was a coward. I'm sorry." Christine's face was stone, but her hands, handcuffed in her lap, trembled. The trial lasted 3 weeks. The jury deliberated for 4 hours, guilty on all counts. April 8th, 2026. Christine stood before Judge Margaret Chen, no relation to Dr. Sarah Chen, but equally formidable. "Mrs. Blackwood," the judge began, "you held a position of public trust. You directed a charity meant to help the most vulnerable, sick children, struggling families. Instead, you systematically stole from them for 7 years. $47.3 million that should have saved lives went to offshore accounts, luxury properties, and funding your planned escape with your lover." Christine stared straight ahead. "But that wasn't your worst crime. Your worst crime was attempting to murder your pregnant daughter-in-law because you couldn't tolerate her racial heritage. Because you deemed her dirty blood unworthy of your family name." Judge Chen's voice hardened. "You beat a 14-week pregnant woman with a tire iron and left her to die. You also poisoned her 3 years prior, causing a miscarriage. This court finds your actions reprehensible, calculated, and deserving of the maximum penalty." The courtroom held its breath. On the charge of attempted murder, 15 years in federal prison. On the charges of wire fraud, money laundering, and embezzlement, 10 years to run consecutively. Total sentence, 25 years. No parole eligibility for 20 years. Christine's legs buckled. Guards caught her. Additionally, all assets obtained through fraudulent means are hereby seized and forfeited. Restitution to the Hope Foundation in the amount of $47.3 million. They led Christine away. She was 60 years old. She'd be 85 before she could even apply for parole. Outside, reporters swarmed again. This time, Diana spoke. Justice was served today, not just for me, but for every victim of Christine's greed, for the children whose medical care was stolen, for the families who believed in Hope Foundation. She looked at the camera. And for every woman who's been told her blood is dirty, her worth is less, her life doesn't matter. We matter. We survived. We won. Theodore stood beside her, holding Hope. The image made every front page. Billionaire grandfather and mixed-race grandbaby united. Patricia Hayes was sentenced 2 weeks later, 5 years for her role as an accomplice. She'd be out when she was 60 if she behaved. Paul Winters went free, immunity deal intact. He'd have to live with his choices. Brandon was in Oregon. We heard he was teaching high school math, living quietly. He sent a letter congratulating Diana on Hope's birth. Didn't ask for photos. Didn't ask to visit. Maybe he'd finally learned to give space. May 2026. Theodore became a regular fixture in our lives. Every Saturday, he'd drive to Diana's new house in Pine Creek, the one he'd given her, and spend the day with Hope. He'd change diapers, give bottles, read stories in his deep, rumbling voice. Hope would grab his finger and coo. "She's got a good grip," he'd say, delighted. Future CEO. Diana watched these moments with something like wonder. I never saw him like this with Brandon. Maybe he's learned, I said. One Saturday, Theodore brought a letter. This came to my office, addressed to Diana. It was from Brandon, postmarked Portland, Oregon. Dear Diana, I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I wanted you to know I'm in therapy 3 times a week, dealing with my codependency, my inability to stand up to Mom, my failures as a husband. My therapist says I need to accept that some damage can't be repaired, that the best thing I can do is step back and let you build a life without me. So that's what I'm doing. I hope you're happy. I hope Hope is healthy and loved. I hope you find someone who gives you what I couldn't. Real partnership, real protection, real love. I don't ask to be in her life. I gave up that right when I failed to protect you. But if someday when she's older, she asks about her biological father, you can tell her this. I loved her mother. I was too weak to show it. But I'm working on becoming the kind of man who could have been worthy of you both. I'm sorry. For everything. Brandon Diana cried reading it. Not from sadness, from release. He's finally growing up, she said. 20 years too late, but still. Will you write back? Maybe, someday, when I'm ready. She folded the letter. But not today. Theodore took Diana and me to lunch that day. Hope slept in her carrier, perfect little face, peaceful. There's something I need to tell you both, Theodore said. He looked nervous, unusual for him. What is it? Diana asked. I'm retiring, stepping down as CEO of Blackwood Development, installing new leadership, professionals, not family, and I'm dissolving the Blackwood Trust. Diana's eyes widened. Dad, you don't have to. I do. The Blackwood name is tainted. Christine made sure of that. But more importantly, I built that company thinking legacy meant blood. It doesn't. Legacy is what you do with what you're given, how you treat people, what you stand for. He looked at Hope. This little girl has my love and my support. But she doesn't need my company or my name. She has something better. A mother who fought for her, a grandmother who protected her, and a heritage that's strong and proud. I felt tears coming. There's one more thing, Theodore said quietly. Diana, you should know. I ran a DNA test. My heart stopped. What? Diana went pale. When Hope was born, standard paternity test. The hospital does them routinely if requested. And I needed to know. Know what? Diana's voice was barely a whisper. Whether Brandon is Hope's biological father. Silence. The restaurant noise faded away. He's not, is he? Diana's voice cracked. No. Diana put her face in her hands. Oh, God. Diana? I grabbed her arm. What's going on? She looked up, tears streaming. 2 years ago, Brandon and I were having problems. He was away on business for 3 weeks. I went to a college reunion, saw an old friend, Michael Chen. We'd dated briefly in college. He was there, divorced, and we had one night. Just one. She was sobbing now. I felt so guilty. Came home, confessed to Brandon. He was furious but forgave me. Said we'd work through it. But then I got pregnant 6 months later, and I just assumed. She looked at Hope. I assumed she was Brandon's. The timing was right. I never thought. Michael Chen is black, Theodore said quietly. Isn't he? Diana nodded. His father is Chinese, his mother is black. And now Hope. She looked at Theodore. She's not your biological grandchild. I'm so sorry. I'll return the house, the money, everything. Stop. Theodore's voice was firm. Look at me, Diana. She did. That little girl is my grandchild. Not because of DNA, because I choose her. Because you let me into her life when you didn't have to. Because she's got your strength and Hattie's spirit, and she deserves a grandfather who'll love her unconditionally. But Brandon gave up his parental rights. Legally, biologically, he's not her father. But I can still be her grandfather if you'll let me. Will you? Diana cried harder. Yes, of course. Theodore reached across the table, took her hand. Family isn't about blood. It's about showing up, staying, fighting for each other. You taught me that. I squeezed Diana's other hand. Do you want to find Michael? Tell him about Hope? Diana wiped her eyes. I don't know. Maybe someday. But right now, I want to focus on the family I have. You, Mama, Theodore. The people who were there when it mattered. Theodore picked up Hope, who'd woken during the conversation. She looked at him with those dark, intelligent eyes, Zora's eyes, and smiled. Hello, my beautiful granddaughter, Theodore whispered. You're perfect, just perfect. 18 months later, Diana's financial consulting firm was thriving. She worked from home, specializing in fraud detection for nonprofits. Ironic but fitting. Hope was 20 months old, walking, talking, fearless. She had Diana's stubbornness, my practicality, and Zora's fire. Theodore visited every week without fail. He'd sold Blackwood Development to a consortium, kept enough to live comfortably, and spent his time with Hope. I'd become an activist, speaking at conferences about elder abuse, domestic violence, racial justice. My memoir, Proud Blood, A Grandmother's Fight for Justice, was published in June 2027. Local bestseller, national attention. Christine was in federal prison in Pennsylvania. No one visited her. Brandon sent money to her commissary account, his therapist's suggestion, but never wrote. Patricia got out after 3 years for good behavior, moved to Florida. I heard she volunteers at a domestic violence shelter now, trying to atone. Paul Winters disappeared. Last I heard, he was in Thailand, running from his conscience. And Brandon? Still in Oregon, still teaching. He sent Hope birthday cards, never asked for photos, never pushed. Just gentle reminders that he existed if she ever wanted to know. Diana kept the cards in a box. For when she's older, she said. If she asks, January 15th, 2027, Hope's first birthday. We celebrated at my house, the one the Blackwoods had broken into 2 years ago, now repaired and full of life again. Small party. Diana, Theodore, Dr. Sarah Chen, Reverend Mitchell, Detective Cole, Alex Turner in his wheelchair. Close friends who'd become family. Hope wore a little yellow dress, stuffed herself with cake, laughed at everything. Theodore had brought too many gifts again. A rocking horse, books, a college savings account with $100,000. For her future, he said gruffly. As the sun set, I picked up Hope and carried her to the mantel where a photo of Zora Jackson hung. Proud, beautiful, strong. This is your great-great-grandmother Zora, I told Hope. You're named after her. She was a warrior. Hope touched the photo with sticky fingers. Zoa. That's right, baby. Zora. I kissed her forehead. She faced a world that told her she was wrong, that her love was wrong, that her children were wrong. But she never believed them. She held her head high and taught us all to do the same. Theodore stood, raising his glass of sparkling cider. I'd like to say something. He cleared his throat. 2 years ago, I was a different man. I valued reputation over people, business over family. I let my wife become a monster and my son become a coward. His voice cracked. But this woman, Hattie Williams, showed me what real strength looks like, what real family looks like. He looked at Hope in my arms. This little girl has no Blackwood blood in her, but she's changed my life more than anyone ever has. She's taught me that love is a choice, family is a choice, and I choose her, every day, for the rest of my life. Everyone applauded. Hope clapped too, not understanding but enjoying the moment. Diana stood, wiping tears. I want to thank everyone here. Mama, you literally saved my life. Theodore, you gave me the courage to stand up. Dr. Chen, Reverend Mitchell, Detective Cole, you helped me when no one else would. Alex, your research was crucial. And Hope, she looked at her daughter. Hope, you saved me too. You gave me a reason to fight, a reason to live. She raised her own glass. To proud blood, to strong women, to family that chooses to show up, to justice, and to the future. To the future, we echoed. Later, after everyone left, Diana and I sat on the porch. Hope slept in my arms, exhausted from her party. Mama, Diana said quietly, do you think I did the right thing, not reaching out to Michael? I think you did what you needed to do. For you and Hope. If you want to find him someday, I'll support you. If you don't, I'll support that too. What if Hope asks about her father when she's older? Then you tell her the truth, all of it. That Brandon gave up his rights, that Michael doesn't know she exists, that Theodore chose to be her grandfather, and that she's loved beyond measure. Will that be enough? I looked at the sleeping baby in my arms. Perfect brown skin, curly hair, stubborn little chin. Hope will grow up knowing she comes from strong women, from Zora, who loved despite hate, from me, who fought when I could have given up, from you, who survived what should have killed you. I stroked her soft hair. She'll know that her blood, our blood, is not dirty. It's powerful, it's resilient, it's proud. Proud blood, Diana whispered. Proud blood, I agreed. "5 years later, Hope was 6 years old, starting first grade. She wore her backpack, too big for her small frame, and bounced with excitement. The teacher, Mrs. Anderson, asked each child to share something they were proud of about their family. Hope stood up, confident. I'm proud of my blood. My grandma says it's warrior blood. Warrior blood? Mrs. Anderson smiled. What does that mean? It means my great-great-grandma Zora loved someone even when people said it was wrong. And my grandma Hattie saved my mama when bad people hurt her. And my mama fought back even when she was scared. And my grandpa Theodore chose to love me even though I'm not his real granddaughter. Mrs. Anderson's smile faded. Hope, honey, Grandma says family is who chooses to love you, and my family is strong, so I'm strong too. Hope sat down. The other children stared. I was waiting outside. I'd brought Hope to school on her first day. When she ran out at pickup, she was beaming. Grandma, I told them about our proud blood. Did you now? Uh-huh. And tomorrow I'm going to tell them about how you fought bad guys and won. I laughed and took her hand as we walked to the car. At 68 years old, I still moved pretty well. Hope kept me young. Theodore was waiting at my house. He lived in town now, close to us. Diana had invited him for dinner, a weekly tradition. Life was good, quiet, normal. Christine had tried one more appeal. It was denied. She'd die in prison, most likely. I felt no satisfaction in that. Just closure. Brandon had finally reached out last month. Asked if he could meet Hope just once. Diana was considering it. What do you think, Mama? She'd asked. I think Hope deserves to know where she comes from. All of it. When she's ready. As we pulled into my driveway, Hope asked, Grandma, why did that bad lady say our blood was dirty? I'd been waiting for this question. I turned off the car and faced her. Because some people are afraid of things that are different. Your great-great-grandma Zora was black, and she married a white man. Some people thought that was wrong, but it wasn't wrong. It was brave. Am I brave? You're the bravest person I know. Braver than you? Way braver. You're going to do amazing things, Hope Zora Williams. You're going to change the world. She thought about this. Can we have ice cream first? I laughed. Yes, baby. We can have ice cream first. That night after dinner, after Theodore left, after Diana took Hope home, I sat on my porch with a cup of tea and thought about everything. 2 years of war. Betrayal, violence, justice, healing. And now, peace. Not perfect, not without scars, but peace nonetheless. I looked up at the stars, the same stars Zora looked at 80 years ago when she married my grandfather. The same stars I looked at when I found Diana bleeding in those woods. The same stars that would shine on Hope for decades to come. Our blood wasn't dirty. It was the blood of survivors, of fighters, of women who refused to break. It was proud blood, and it would flow through generations, reminding them, you are strong, you are worthy, you are loved. No one can take that away from you. No one. This story is dedicated to every woman who's been told she's not enough, to every grandmother who fought for her family, to every survivor who refused to be a victim. Your blood is not dirty. It's proud. It's powerful. It's everything. Hattie Williams.